LA Noire, a truly standout experience like no other out there. Playing as the honest detective Cole Phelps, we try and bring down the crime in Los Angeles to make it a better place.
Drop the weapon, hands behind your head.
Realistic interrogations.
And Evelyn Summers, a poor, drunken nobody, stole your book.
Crime scenes, the whole city of Los Angeles itself, complete with corrupt officials and politics, along with some very awkward partner relationships. You have to push your way through to do what is right. So here, today on Da Vinci TV, we're going to count down those top 5 cases from LA Noire. Remember, as always, there are spoilers ahead, and this includes all the DLC. Now let's get to it.
May the cat eat him and the cat be eaten by the devil. This is your chance. Don't fail me.
Our 5th entry is the very first case after being promoted to detective. This is the driver's seat.
A patrolman called in a suspicious vehicle, signs of foul play. See what you can find out.
Come on, Phelps.
With your new partner, Stefan Bukowski, you head on down to the PE Freight Depot in the warehouse district to find an abandoned car covered in blood. At the crime scene, you take note of a pair of glasses, a receipt for a live pig, an Insta-Heat pipe for a water boiler with blood on it, and do find out that the car belongs to an Adrian Black. We next follow this up by heading on down to the Black residence. Here we find clues proving it was Adrian at the crime scene and that his relationship with Mrs. Black isn't exactly what it seems.
To my Adrian. This thing gets more and more interesting.
And after checking the Insta-Heat pipes from outside, it does indeed prove that the pipe found at the crime scene is the missing piece of this puzzle.
Seems like the assailant is a little closer to home.
Mrs. Black then reveals that F. Morgan on the receipt for the live pig is indeed Frank Morgan.
God knows what he's up to.
So we next head on down to Cavanna's bar, where Mrs. Black did reveal that Adrian spends most evenings there, and we do find Frank Morgan. Now, Frank Morgan was a shady character right from the go, and I wasn't buying none of it, so I just accused, and it didn't really get me anywhere.
This doesn't add up, Morgan. Your excuses don't help. Let's see how you enjoy the LAPD taking an interest in your life.
So now with Frank playing hardball, there's only one thing to do, and that's to tail him and see where he takes us.
It's over, Morgan. Mr. Black, LAPD, give yourself up now!
After learning that Adrian Black is alive and well, we chase him where he's eventually cornered off by your partner.
Adrian Black, you're under arrest for conspiracy and fraud. We'll see what the DA has to say about wasting police resources on a wild goose chase like this.
The driver's seat overall earns the number 5 spot in the game because, to be honest, it was fun, light-hearted and clever. The result of Adrian wishing to leave for his mistress, not being able to face his wife by framing his own death, and all the evidence adding up to following Frank Morgan to find Adrian hiding all along, overall puts this in the number 5 spot. Our 4th entry is the Silk Stocking Murder.
You boys have a new case. A poor Hispanic woman murdered near City Hall and left lying naked in an alleyway.
Upon reaching the crime scene, we find another naked woman.
Strangled, battered,
Yeah, we know the MO.
The key difference here is she has indeed been strangled by a silk stocking left at the crime scene, and the killer has left us a trail, wanting us to find something. We find a number of items along the blood trail, but at the end we find a woman's purse with a name and an address.
Does Mrs. Maldonado live here?
Yes, she does.
We find a broken window and papers containing the address of the husband. Questioning the owner of the boarding house, she instantly puts the blame on the husband.
That rat of her husband, Angel. She was serving him divorce papers.
If I killed every wife that served me papers, I'd be a mass murderer.
Are you being flippant, young man?
No, ma'am.
You can't not like Rusty, seriously, can you? The owner then reluctantly states that Antonia has become a bit of an alcoholic, spending a lot of time at the El Dorado bar.
So what did she do?
She was murdered last night.
Oh,
The El Dorado bar bartender reveals that she left divorce papers and sent her to the Just Picked Fruit Market to use a phone. But before visiting the fruit market, it's time to pay Angel a visit. Here you are jumped by Angel and his brother, so we indeed have a hand-to-hand fight to take them down. With Angel and his brother being arrested, we investigate the apartment. Here we find a Just Picked Fruit Market box containing alcohol and a bloodied shirt. From here we conduct an interrogation with Angel at the Central Police Station.
I was with Antonia the night she died, but she left the apartment. That was the last time I saw her.
Angel denies everything and ends up leading us to the Just Picked Fruit Market. Everything in this case links to the Just Picked Fruit Market, so it's time to finally pay a visit.
Clem Feeney, what can I do for you?
Besides making some money on the side, Clem Feeney seems genuine enough. This is until we have a look around.
Don't you have to get a court order or something? I have rights.
Clem? Shh.
Upon looking around we find a jewellery box, and the code that we found earlier on the blood trail is indeed the password to gain access. The items inside would suggest that this box belonged to Antonia, and beside it we find a bloody scalpel.
This fruit stall punk gets about 10 seconds to explain before I pull his arms off.
With that, Clem runs, and we have a full-on car chase on our hands. Clem drives completely frantically, doing anything to get you off his tail, while Rusty hangs out the window shooting him. Clem eventually crashes and you arrest him for the murder of Antonia.
You're a sick man, Clem. You need help.
Overall, I really enjoyed this case, from the blood trail at the start, the different places the evidence took you, the different kind of people you interacted with. Different evidences and alibis all would point towards Antonia's husband, yet everything led to the Just Picked Fruit Market and it being Clem all along, who you saw earlier on in the case behind the El Dorado bar. Complete with a fight scene and an awesome car chase, puts the Silk Stocking murder in the number 4 spot. Our third entry is our first case partnering up with Roy Earl on the Vice desk. This is the Black Caesar.
2 men dead on U.S. Army issue morphine. That makes it an advice case. Read it.
Yes, sir.
We start at the junkie's apartment where 2 men have indeed overdosed on morphine. At the crime scene we do indeed find a number of clues, but what mainly catches your attention is there's morphine syringes taped to the bottom of popcorn cups.
We're inquiring into the deaths.
Hand over the popcorn, numbskull, before we kick the door in.
Fleetwood Morgan, who is selling the popcorn, immediately makes a run for it. He takes you on a proper trek on the rooftops where he eventually catches you off guard, calls for his friend, so it's a full-on fight to take them down. Before questioning Fleetwood, we inspect the food hut, where we find number tickets, a pass to the Blue Room Jazz Club, and indeed the morphine.
Jermaine Jones.
With Fleetwood revealing a name, we find an address and head over to the musical booking agency.
Jermaine Jones.
Don't bother getting up. Your flunky Fleetwood Morgan just snitched you out.
I wasn't planning to.
With the clues that you found earlier, you're able to open the radio and find Jermaine's hidden stash of morphine inside. Of course, Jermaine doesn't take too kindly to this, sending his goons on you doing whatever they can to take off Cole's hat. With the goons defeated and Cole's hat firmly placed back on his head, we inspect the radio stash and notice a Ramez Removals label.
Ramez is a good friend of Lenny the Fink. You getting the picture?
With Jermaine buckling under pressure, revealing Lenny the Fink, the crime lord's brother-in-law, linked to Ramez Removal, as well as the information from Merlin Otti at the Numbers Operation House, we're finally heading down to Ramez Removals. Though the moment you get there, Jose Ramez makes a run for it, and he starts chucking furniture at you at the back of his vehicle, making for a really exciting set piece, with other LAPD officers assisting you in the chase.
Jose Ramez, you're being arrested on suspicion of supplying illegal drugs, resisting arrest, and for malicious damage to LAPD property.
Investigating Ramez Removals, you find a water trail, so following the water trail, using a crane to unblock the way, reveals morphine hid in the ice blocks. They are using the Polar Bear Ice Company to transport the morphine, and when Jose realises he's been sussed,
he's making a run for it. Let him have it.
We take out Jose Ramez and we're gonna pay a trip to the Polar Bear Ice Company.
Give it up, Finkelstein. Your brother-in-law will get you a good lawyer.
My brother-in-law hates my guts.
This leads to a full-on shootout action sequence which takes place through the warehouse all the way to the freezer, which results in one final showdown with Lenny and finding the morphine. Case closed. Overall, I found the Black Caesar a standout and an original case from the rest of the game, with the idea of the morphine being hidden in the ice blocks being clever in itself, linking to the salesman, the middlemen, leading to Lenny Finkelstein, really made you feel like you were achieving something, along with the chases on foot, by vehicle, in-depth interrogations, puzzles, and an awesome shootout at the end, earns the Black Caesar the number 3 spot. Our second entry isn't the most typical of cases for LA Noire. This is the setup.
That limey was paid to take a nap. He reneged. And you were out of pocket? Damn right. Me and a couple hundred other people. Stand aside.
Albert Hammond was supposed to throw the fight, but wins unexpectedly. Doing so puts his life in danger, so we have to find him before the wrong people do. The only clue we have to go on is a notepad found in Hammond's locker. It contains names, odds, and a phone number.
You better find that sucker and you bring him to me.
Cole Phelps? Mickey Cohen.
I know who he is, Roy. I met his brother-in-law.
Tracing the phone number takes us to Hotel Elmar, where we do indeed find that Hammond has been a guest here under the alias of Winston Churchill. In his room we find a number of clues, but there's a coupon in a magazine revealing a name, Candy Edwards.
Alright, let's go after his girl.
Upon arriving at a Leave hotel, you hear a commotion.
Like hitting women, do you?
Searching the apartment and Hammond's manager Carlo, we find clues as Candy regains consciousness.
They already believe you're in on it.
Hell, I know you're in on it.
You can think what you want, Buster.
Roy suggests that we tail Candy and find out what she's really up to. So now we have a stealth moment on foot and by vehicle, and we do indeed find out that Candy is making collections at bookies.
She took me to the cleaners. 4,000 clams and change.
This proves that she was in it with Hammond all along, and if people realise this, she has to be careful, because her life is in danger.
Just try and sit still, Candy. Who shot you?
With Candy's death, we find a revolver used to commit the evil deed, and a ticket.
The Egyptian Theater. Come on, Roy. We're bringing this whole tragedy to its conclusion.
This case did a fantastic job of deceiving you. Right from the go, you honestly believe that Candy is in it with Hammond, but she's not. She's in it for herself, and she's collecting the money. And the revolver found at the scene of her death was in fact hers, and Carlo actually stabbed her with a knife and now has the money. This case overall had some fantastic storytelling.
I've got the money, all I need to do is get rid of you. It's gonna be a shame, kid, but that's business.
This ends with a shootout in the theatre with Carlo finally putting him down for good.
Put the gun down, Roy.
That son of a bitch owes me a lot of money.
Catch. Piscania sails from New York, Hammond. Be on the next train and don't ever come back.
Hammond finally emerges, but because he didn't really commit a crime, Phelps lets him go. Overall, I thought this case was extremely clever. It deceived you right from the go and had some of the best storytelling LA Noire had to offer. With a fantastic stealth moment, a death out of nowhere, and the fact that this was the only case in the game where you were actually trying to prevent a crime from happening. Overall, this earns the number 2 spot. Our number 1 entry is the final case on the traffic desk, and we're back with our original partner, Stefan Bukowski. This case had everything from attempted murder, drugs, lies and deceit, chase scenes, and an awesome shootout scene in one of the best locations in the game. This is The Fallen Idol.
The Chevy Styline took a nosedive off the escarpment, fetched up underneath the Cola King billboard. Up to it, boys, we got bad guys to catch.
At the crime scene you find a couple of clues, but the coroner points out a prop shrunken head which was used to hold the accelerator down to drive the car off the cliff.
Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him, Horatio.
Is it real? No.
Jessica and June were the 2 victims of the incident. They were indeed intoxicated, and as a side effect, their muscles were relaxed. This is the only reason they survived. June explains that they are both indeed actresses. Jessica is young and will do anything to break into the industry, and reveals our major suspect, Mark Bishop.
I want to know what happened between you two that made him want to commit a double murder.
Bishop offered me a part in his picture. Then he withdrew it.
June is in a real hurry somewhere, so we decide to tail her and eavesdrop on a conversation.
No! I don't want him taught a lesson. You know what I want.
Fearing what we've just heard and learning the address at the same time, we hurry to Mark Bishop's.
Give it up! LAPD!
June is rather unhappy she's been cast out of a movie role, so she gets her husband, Guy McAfee, to send round his men. Though we learn that Mark Bishop isn't in, only his wife.
Perhaps you should sit down, ma'am.
Yes.
Searching around Bishop's apartment, we find a number of clues, including
My husband, Mark, and Marlon Hopgood.
Questioning Gloria, you do learn that Bishop is being blackmailed in some form, and you are able to find the address of the prop store. Here we meet Marlon Hopgood and find plenty of clues. The chloral hydrate used to intoxicate Jessica and June. The prop Shrunken Head, a film reel which is missing, in which June is using to blackmail Mark Bishop, and his location. Getting to Bishop is now a race against time, as June has got her husband to hire the crime lord Mickey C's men to take out Bishop as well. With Mickey C's men finally taken care of, we head to the Jungle Drums set to find Bishop.
There's the slippery bastard now.
No.
Mark Bishop, stop! LAPD!
Now we have one of the best chase scenes LA Noire has to offer through the Jungle Drums movie set to catch Mark Bishop.
If you found me, then McAfee's goons will too. Oh, we need to get out of here.
Alright, but you stay close. Any tricks, and I'll save McAfee's boys the trouble.
Guy McAfee's men are relentless, so now we have a full-on shootout on the movie set whilst trying to save Bishop at the same time.
Now this is what I call a result.
With Guy McAfee's men defeated, Mark Bishop is going away for a very long time. Overall, I thought this case was fantastic. It touched on a variety of subjects, some really pushing the limit. Was by far one of the most in-depth cases LA Noire had to offer, and did a fantastic job of immersing you in the experience. From the different gameplay scenarios and the standout set piece on the movie set makes this our best case from LA Noire. So that brings us to the end of our video. LA Noire was truly a standout experience unlike anything else out there, and I very much hope you enjoyed the video. The end was rather anticlimactic, so let's hope one day we return to the streets of Team Bondi and we can resolve his unanswered issues. Again, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at GaVinci88. I'm sometimes on Twitch at GaVinci88, and if you get a chance, try and watch some of these other videos. It'd be very much appreciated. The subscribe button should be down there. The other videos, give them a whirl. If you have time, see what you think. It'd be very much appreciated. Again, thank you very much. GaVinci out. I'll see you next time.